Okay, good morning. As you can see my PowerPoint here, my name is Yaracet Anaya Lugo, and I am the program specialist for the Child Welfare Unit. Today, our training is regarding the CBCAP, the Community-Based Child Abuse Prevention Program, CBCAP, and the Children's Trust Fund. Okay, and I will explain more about this program so that you guys understand if you're receiving one funding, what does it mean, and why is it two different fundings for the same purpose. In our agenda today, we are going to be talking about the importance of coordinating with other systems. I'm going to turn off my camera so that I can see better. Okay, today's agenda, we will be discussing the importance of coordination and coordinating with other systems, other agencies, other sister agencies, so that we can better assist our community. Compliance with any changes to the federal or state laws, any regulations that change, we need to abide by them. Evidence-based and evidence-informed programs. If we are providing services that required a curriculum, we are moving towards, we should have everybody on board now with an evidence-based and evidence-informed program. It is a requirement that all of our agencies register with 211. It is also a requirement to participate in the parent leadership and involvement efforts we have made last year, and I will talk more about that. Any required trainings and the protective factor surveys and the reporting, the performance measure report. This is the link that we will be using. We will continue to use the HALNV system. This is a system that is created by our IT. So it's pretty simple. It doesn't have a lot of, a lot of bells and whistles, but it does the job. This will be your link for the entire year. This will not change. Everybody's going to get the same link. The report is not going to change. It will stay the same for all 4 quarters. Child welfare system. What is considered a child welfare system? I do have agencies asking me, or staff asking me, why do we need to know this and why is this important? Well, it is very important because CBCAP and CTF are prevention funding sources, which means we can only provide primary and secondary prevention. Tertiary prevention is not to be offered, money is not to be spent on tertiary prevention, only primary and secondary. Any case, any family, any client that comes to your agency that has an open child welfare case that is working with a child agency should not be funded by CBCAP or CTF. That's why that's important. So the child welfare system is a group of services designed to promote the well-being of children by ensuring safety, achieving permanency, and strengthening families. Okay, in Nevada, we have 3 agencies that deal with the child welfare system. The Carson City Rural, we do DCFS, so our agency is responsible to deal and handle and assist the families that are in the system, any rural areas and the Carson City area. Clark County, the county is responsible for the Clark County area. Washoe County is also responsible as a county for the Washoe County area. So if you are located in any of those areas, and you come across a family that needs assistance but has an open case, we encourage that you contact the child welfare agency to help them out, to assist them, to make sure that they know they're there and see what you can do for them. However, it cannot be under this funding. Okay, if you are receiving any Title 4B2 funding as well, that's where you would move your recipients to so that they can get services under that funding. Title 4B2 is funding designed to assist families in the child welfare system. CBCAP and CTF do not assist families in the child welfare system. That's the wrong funding. Coordinating with other systems, not only the child welfare systems, but we are asking and we are requiring that amongst yourselves, amongst all the subgrantees, you can coordinate with each other. If you have a service that is funded by CBCAP, but your family requires a different service that you do not fund, contact your sister agency and say, hey, I know that you offer this. This is a client. I'm going to refer them to you. We need to collaborate as agencies to just to make sure that we are providing wraparound services assisted by other agencies. Sometimes we get so involved in, oh, my recipients require this, they need this, let's create another program, however, we have agencies that have been doing different programs for a long time, and that's, they're good at that. So we really are pushing for networking and collaborating. This is the list of CBCAP, State Fiscal 23, 23 prevention partners. Okay, they're noted by program. CBCAP. What is CBCAP? What's the difference between CBCAP and CTF? CBCAP is federal. CBCAP is prevention funding, but it's federally funded. CTF is prevention funded, but state funded. Okay, those two programs work together. So we use CTF funding in order for us to get the federal CBCAP funding. So they line up. We require the same, the purpose is the same, and it's all regarding prevention, primary and secondary prevention. There is one change in CTF that we will talk about later in this presentation. CTF has a program or a service that can be offered that CBCAP cannot accept. They do not approve. So we will discuss that. Compliance with any federal, state law regulations. We will let you know if there's any changes that need to be that come through, throughout the year. It usually doesn't happen, but we will be informing you. We don't expect you to just know this information. We do follow our GIRS, our grant instructions requirement. It was attached to the invitation. You have that for your own records. And they are effective for July 1st through June 30th, 2023. So when the period ends, the project period ends, our GIRS end. So then we have to revise them for the following year. So what do you find in your GIRS? In the GIRS, you can find what we are requiring for you to follow when you're billing, when you're sending us an RFR, a request for funds. How to file for travel. It's pretty much your guide. I know that I have a lot of people in this call that are program, and you guys may not be dealing with some of that section, but it also has and talks about the grants and the program requirements and the reports and when they're due and what do we expect. So usually this is used more from your fiscal, but it has program specific information. Evidence-based and evidence-informed programs. Evidence-based is part of a Family First push. Family First is a federal practice. We're moving towards Family First. All of our programs are going to need to align with Family First practices, which means we have to have evidence-based or approved programs so that we can track the progress, and then we can really measure what our clients and our recipients are absorbing and where we're lacking lacking skills, maybe as an agency or as a program, or how do we get about making sure they're getting what they need. If your agency, I believe all of our agencies now have an evidence-based program. If your agency does not have a program that is evidence-based or doesn't fall under this criteria, please reach out to us. We know that trying to change to an evidence-based program is costly. We would like to know that you are interested, what you're interested in, and we would like to consider helping you as an agency kind of get a path to moving towards evidence-based or practice. I have a link here, Friends. Friends.org is an agency that they are our technical assistants for the state. Anything regarding CBCAP, they train us. They train us, and they are more than happy to train you as well if you need any sort of training or guidance. They do have, I'm going to check it out. I linked this to the matrix of evidence-based program. I recommend that you all go into this website and check it out. It has a ton of good information. This is the matrix. You actually come in here, you write the program that you are considering. Let's say, let me just do that. Let's see, do active parenting, and then we get results. And then it tells us here, active parenting, okay? And once you open it, it tells you it's supported, evidence-based, okay? This one's supported, so you can check it out, go in here, and it'll tell you all about the program, how is it scored, what are the tests, or the pre and post tests required, and all of that. So we invite you, please, to come into this website. Also, now that I'm here, it'll explain to you what CBCAP is, what other states are doing, why is parent leadership important. This is one of the, it's it's in the CAP requirement for us. We've made great efforts on this area that I will be discussing. It also has resources. It has a ton of trainings for you and for your staff, for you to go in and you register and you get a certificate for any of the trainings that you complete. If I remember my login, of course. But this is all available to all of you. Please use this tool. You don't have to be CBCAP. You can be CTF. Just because you are a subgrantee of the state of Nevada, you have access to this great material. Nevada 211. Nevada 211 is a system that our state has invested a ton of money in order to house the information all in one place. 211 is a resource that we refer our clients. You know, the purpose is that everybody in Nevada will know where to go to find any resource, any assistance, any help, any, you know, anything that they need. But this is only going to be useful and helpful if we make sure as subgrantees that we are connecting with 211 and updating our information. It is a requirement. It was listed on the notice of funding opportunity that you guys applied, that you are going to contact 211 and you're going to make sure that the information they have for your agency is accurately and correct. Okay, one of the complaints or issues we hear from parents as well as 211 is that the agencies did a great job initially enrolling with them and making sure that they have the information. You know, things happen, COVID happened, everything happened, programs happened, agencies closed. You know, many things have changed, but 211 does not know about it. So if you added services to your agency, if you removed services from your agency, if your agency moved, if the numbers changed, all that information needs to be accurate in 211 so that when our clients go in here and they're looking for some sort of information and they check your agency, they know exactly where to go, who to talk to, and what number to call. Okay, we're moving to parent leadership and involvement. This is a big requirement that our state has not been able to comply for a while. We are moving into compliance and I'm very excited. It's written in the CAPTA Treatment Act, which it only makes it more important that we comply. We are emphasized, you know, CBCAP and CTF emphasizes that families and youth, their voices are critical. We talk about, okay, so we're going to make this happen because this sounds great, or, you know, Nevada needs this because other states are doing it, or because we hear that this is a good project. Well, we need to bring in the parents, we need to bring in the youth, we need to bring in the moms, the dads into the, you know, to the table. We need to hear from them what they need. They're the ones out there dealing with, you know, living out there with schools and no transportation, no jobs, whatever it is that they're struggling with, we need to hear from them. So during State Fiscal 22, we contracted with PCAN, UNLV, and they started the prevention assessment, statewide assessment. We are finalizing that at the end of this month, and we should have a final draft for all of you sometime the beginning of next year. And part of that is we identify that no, we don't pay attention, as much attention as we should be paying to our parents and our families. We need to hear from them. So we are going to be reaching out to you as an agency to find out if you guys have any parents that you think will be great, you know, great at joining. We already have a group of parents. We meet once a month. Everything's hosted by PCAN, by UNLV. Everything is obviously from remote. They call in, and there are incentives for participation. So we will have all this information once we finalize our plan, and we really do encourage that you work with us and try to make this project successful, because we do want to hear from the parents, especially the parents that live in the rural areas, which is really hard to get involved for many reasons. So this is we're going to have a big push. You'll hear us kind of saying, hey, please make sure you refer somebody. We have a meeting today. We encourage that you get involved and help us get that voice out. Required trainings. If you are a new subgrantee for CBCAP or CTF, the Program 101 webinar will be given to you one-on-one. You will be contacted by me. We will go over what the program is, what you're doing, how does it fall within prevention, if you need any technical assistance, if you have any ideas, any questions, just to make sure that you understand the program, which we know all of you do. The quarterly report training, it's done today. The request for reimbursement training is per request. Anybody who is a new agency should have already been contacted by either Michael Guerra or John Aragon, or as soon as you submit your first request for reimbursement, you will be contacted to train you, to guide you, to provide you any assistance that you may need. Once again, requests for reimbursements are also done by the fiscal or your payroll staff. If I have program people in this training, you usually, rarely, you do your own reimbursements, but if it could happen. The data management training for protective factor survey, this is a requirement. We started this yesterday. See, I'm quick. We started this last year. Last year, we implemented the database. This is very helpful because we always had the problem of how do we know what we're doing, and how can we assess the efforts of each agency? If we're all doing maybe not the same service, but we're all servicing adults and parents, and we're trying to not grade, but rate to see if my service, my program was successful, and if they learned anything. And what did I miss that I didn't provide? What did I miss that I didn't ask? So this protective factor is going to give us that perspective. Everybody's doing a protective factor. You can pull, once you have an account with the database, you're able to pull your own information. You're able to pull your own agency's information. From an agency perspective, you can pull a report and say, okay, so we provided so many surveys, and everybody says that they're good at this, but they're lacking on this. Is this something that we can incorporate into our curriculum? Is this something our curriculum is not focused on? Is this something that we're totally missing? And if we don't provide this section, who does, and who can we refer our clients to? It's a great tool. And once again, if you're a new agency, you will be contacted by me to create an account and to go over the training. The trainings are already posted. They are the same trainings from last year. Those are trainings that were provided to us by friends, and they will be there for anybody to go back and look at them. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me and let me know, and I can definitely make time to go over them for you or with you. This is a protective factor. It looks like this. It's a paper format, of course. With the database, you're able to do a digital format. You're able to text a link to your client so that they can just go into their phone and complete it. You're able to, this is high tech. So protective factor surveys are conditions or attributes in an individual or family communities at a large deal with. They have to mitigate with certain things. Do you know knowledge of parenting skills? Concrete supports. Do parents know where to go when something comes, when they have a barrier? Resiliency. Can we help them be resilient? Once we help them with concrete supports, their parents become more resilient. Nurturing attachment, social support, children and social and emotional competence. After COVID, we saw a rise of mental health, mental needs. So our protective factor will cover all those sections, and you will get a better understanding of where your parents are at in terms of these skills that protective factor measures. Reporting requirements. The program requirements are quarterly. Obviously, Q1 and Q2 are not quarterly. You will be submitting them on the 15th of July because, you know, I'm providing a training in November and we'll have to revisit our reports. When you, on you know, July, the 15th of January, sorry, you will be submitting your reports the 15th of January. When the 15th of January comes along, I am going to ask that you submit 2 reports. I'm going to ask that you submit Q1 report and a Q2 report. So 2 separate reports. Do not combine the information, please. Why? Because for Q1, you're going to report all your returning clients. All your returning clients are going to be considered new. So Q1, which is July 1st through September 30th, everybody's going to be considered new. So if you had 10 people coming back, 10 are going to be new. I need 10 demographics. I need 10 of everything. Q2 will not be all new because now we are only going to be making sure that we separate who is returning and which ones are new clients. And we will look at it in the report. Once again, your link will not change. It will always be the same, okay? If there is a required question, all questions on this report are going to be required, all of them. If you do not fill out all questions, you will not be able to submit your report. Okay, let's look at the report and some of the instructions that I'm gonna. Here is your table. So October, yeah. So Q1, it's going to be due January 15th, and Q2 is going to be due January 15th. Okay, Q3 will be due April 15th, and the Q4 would be due July 15th. So it has to be done the following month, the 15th of the following month of the quarter ending. The information is pretty much the same, very similar to last year's. Few changes. You know, it wasn't such a big problem with CBCAP and CTF. I didn't make such a big problem like I did for the other program. You know, your agency, just put your agency name. Your sub-award number, I did see some discrepancies last year. Your sub-award number begins, if it's CBCAP, your sub-award number will begin with a 93590 and then dash, and then the year, and then dash, and then the number, okay? You could have a 21 here, 22, or 23, depending on which funding we are pulling your award from. So don't worry if they should not all be 23s, not, you know, just give us the number that we gave you for that award. Same thing with CTF. Your CTF should start with a 320114. Okay, this indicates to us what funding source, federal and state. You're going to choose which program you were funded. Obviously, just click one or the other, or if you were funded both, click both. If you're funded both with, I don't think we have any that were funded both. But if you are funded both, I'm sorry, don't click both. You're going to have to do 2 reports. Okay, and Q1, you're just going to click Q1, and you're going to do Q1. Then you're going to go back and submit Q2. Do the same thing, complete everything, Q2. Okay. The report will not change. It has been created, the same report for all quarters. You can expect that no changes will be made to the report during the state fiscal 23. So it's not like I'm going to go back and say, oh, I forgot to ask this. No, it's going to stay the same. No changes will be made. You will only be able to enter the quarters one at a time. So Q1, Q2, 3 and 4 when they're due. You should not be able to enter them before they're due, except Q1 and 2. Please do not combine the information in the report, just like I explained. Now, if you're going to be able to see on the right-hand corner, a required notice sign here, that means all questions are required. So they all need to be answered. All questions included in the report are required to be answered. The questions that are not applicable to your agency, please mark NA. If a question is not applicable to your agency, which means your agency does not provide this service, you're going to do NA. GMU will interpret an NA response as service, program, or activity that your agency does not provide. Okay? Last year, we had a confusion with, yes, I provide this service, but I have no client, no numbers to report, so I'm going to do NA. No, you provide the service, you have no numbers to report, you do not put an NA because you do provide the service and is funded under this funding. Now, remember, you're only going to report data on programs that are covered under this funding, CBCAP or CTF. If there is a service that you do provide, but is funded by another funding source, do not report it. Okay, zeros, responses. Zero responses you're going to use in every question that requires data entry that you have no data to report. Okay, for example, under gender identity, your total number of reported clients are 26. You had 8 males, 16 females, 2 transgender. You had no one that didn't report. You had 0 that were not tracked, and you had 0 that reported a different orientation. Sexual orientation, total 26. If you were to do age, 16, and 2 and leave these blanks, you will not be able to submit your report. So 0, 0, 0 to total your number. Same as last year, our report does not auto-populate and is not auto-calculate. So please pay attention to the number that you report in the beginning to be able to match this at the end. And I will give you examples. We will look at it once we look at the report. We will be able to show you. No responses. When should I mark a no for a service? An agency should mark no under the program that they are expected or have compromised to provide. For example, Happy Agency is funded, and Happy Agency said that they were going to do respite. Okay, they're going to do respite. So when I ask, did your agency provide respite services? If you mark NA, I'm considering it, no, you do not provide it, but your scope of work says you do. You need to mark no. You will mark no only if you are required to provide it, but have not provided the service due to any barriers. Okay, so some agencies are constantly working to provide additional services, but face difficulties during a quarter due to staffing issues, waiting for staff training, or any other logistics. So if you mark no, I'm going to interpret that as, okay, so you do provide it, but you didn't provide it this quarter for whatever reason. It's up to you and us for you to indicate no, 0, 0, staff, still hiring staff. Okay? So no when you are required to provide a service but have no data to report for any reason. And obviously you're going to mark yes with data if you provide that service. Yesterday I had a question, it was a good question, where somebody asked me, why do we need to do an NA and why can't we just do no, or why can we just do NA? NA indicates it's clear, will indicate no, your agency doesn't provide the service. No will indicate to us that no, you didn't provide it this quarter, but you are required to provide it, and you're facing some sort of difficulties or issues or programmatic logistics situations that we can then, if we see it twice, 2 quarters, we can then reach out and say, okay, what is going on? Do you need us to help you? Do you need us to train you? Do we need to go and assist you? You need technical assistance from us or from friends, or we can find you the help that you need in order to overcome that issue. I have been getting calls from some agencies. They're already facing some difficulties because of staffing. We know staffing is a problem. So some of their reports are going to say no, and they're going to indicate staffing issues. Okay, collaboration. Collaboration is very important. Very, very, very important. This is prevention. This is prevention funding. If you don't collaborate with the schools, who they can be the ones telling you, hey, I have this family, they seem to be struggling, I feel they could get your assistance in Spanish parenting, or they could get your help with food, we are going to prevent them from entering the system. We are going to prevent them from being in the child welfare system, from children to be separated from their parents. We are going, and that trauma that comes with being separated. So collaborating with other agencies is super important, and it's a requirement, because how would your agency know if a doctor sees a child that needs help? You need to collaborate with doctors. If the schools see things that you can help and they don't call you and you don't call them and you don't have a relationship. So please, we're going to be pushing for this to happen. Or if it's already happening, we're going to require that you report this in this training. If you feel it needs to happen and you have not achieved that goal, then write it on the comments. Say, hey, I really can't connect with the schools. I can't, so that we can somehow make that connection. That's an ongoing, or we can talk to other agencies who have done it and they can walk us through how they did it. It's very important for you to report that in our report. Public awareness. Public awareness is also a big push with CBCAP and CTF. We are prevention. We can do every activity in the world to prevent child abuse. But if we are not out there talking to the parents, talking to other agencies, talking to the schools, talking to teachers, doctors, this is not going to be successful. We can't have an amazing program. We can't have an amazing activity in our office waiting for people to come and find it. We need to be out there. We need to be out there participating in community events. We need to be talking to other sub-grantees, other partners, in order to share this information. So we are going to be required to definitely report on the number of public awareness activities that you conduct, besides the prevention month activities, the Pinwheels Prevention Month. So it is very, very important that we try to connect with other agencies. If they're having a fair, call, hey, can I come over to your fair? Can you come to my fair? Can we change information? And this is the contact information for us. Like I said, Kelsey McCannavarro is our chief. Yaraset Anaya Lugu, myself, I am the social program specialist. I oversee Michael Guerra and John Aragon. Michael is a grants project analyst, and he does payments, RFRs, but he also does programmatics. He does our monitorings. He's responsible for all of our monitoring reports that we have to do annually. And John Aragon is he's not a program specialist. Oops, he is a management analyst, so he does payments as well. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? We'll be going over the report, but before I go into the report, do we have any questions? Okay. We're going to go into the report. Again, this is...
Yeah, all right. Sorry.
There's questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I should check the chat. Okay, it says, if a client who is in our program develops an open case during our services, what do you do with them? Do we have to stop serving them? If a client that was in your prevention program ends up with an open case, we need to refer them to a Title 4B2 program, because that's no longer prevention. That's tertiary prevention. So if your agency does not have a Title 4B2 program, we will be sending all of you a list of Title 4B2 program and agencies and a list of what they provide. We are working on updating our website where you can go into Title 4B2 and you can see all the agencies that are funded. You can go into CBCAP and you can see all the agencies that are funded. So yes, Rhonda, we need to move that client into another service, because Title 4B2 services are specific to getting those parents reunited and getting those parents out of the system. Prevention is solely prevention. Okay. Do we have to wait until January 15th to enter Q1 since we already have the numbers? No, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. I just don't want you, it's a due date. So you have enough time, because I can't expect you to do it when I didn't have it ready for you. But you, as soon as we're done with this meeting, you can go ahead and submit them. When are we participating in multiple community events? How can we accurately estimate how many people we are seeing for public awarenesses? That is a great question. And it's impossible for us to put that on you. Oh, you got to be clicking every time you see somebody. No, no. We do an estimation. You know, how many people do you estimate? Now, some fairs or some activities have they have a sign-in. You know, if you're interested on this, if you're interested in that, if you capture that, those are accurate numbers, and they can be reported in another section. But we are asking for estimates, and we're asking for a realistic estimate, okay? It's really not about what we wish we did, it's who we really did, because we rather be realistic and know that it was, 200 and not 10,000 when it wasn't 10,000, because we will, the feds will come back and be like, was it on the news? Did we see it? So yeah, we gotta be accurate in our guesstimates. You're welcome, Rhonda. Okay, any other questions? Okay, now we're going to check our reporting. I'm gonna click on your report, and it's gonna bring you here, okay? This is just information, just basic information. I went over this, okay? If you see here, we have required. Oh, the entire report has required questions, which means you have to answer all the questions, okay? This is common sense. We talked about this. Please remember, quarter one, when you're doing quarter one, okay, let's say I'm doing, my agency is Yara's Happy World, okay? My number is 9359020. Oh, I can do it 20, and then 111. I'm doing community prevention. Doing quarter one, I do primary and secondary. Okay, I provide case management, parenting, and respite. Okay, my prevention is I cover all the preventions. I promote parenting skills. I promote parents with, assist parents with disabilities. Okay, please, just like last year, let's put an effort on collecting disability disabled clients. Anybody who reports to have a disability, we need to make sure that we're tracking them. One of the things that our state has not been doing, not last year or the previous year, in the past, is collecting that data. So we do have the feds coming back and saying, so the prevention programs you guys are offering do not, they're not offered to, and they are. It's just we're not capturing the information. So I am really asking you guys to make sure that your agency does track that. Now, let's say that I checked my boxes, and you're like, what do you want me to report here, Yara? If I already told you, you're gonna do none. Okay. It's just in case for anybody who's doing another focus, I need it here. But if you're not, just give me a none. Okay, same here. Okay. Okay. Total number of children served. Okay. It has not changed. Same questions. But for quarter one, okay, I need to see a total number. So let's say that you had 10 children, okay, and 3 had a disability. Remember, the disability is self-report. It's not like you have to do an assessment to make sure that we don't do that, unless your agency focuses on disabilities, but it's self-report. And we need to know self-report for children and parents. So total number of parents, let's do 20. And I had 1. Okay, I'm only going to count children and parents. Okay, why? Because this number 3 here is already part of this. And this number 1 here is part of this. If I was to count them all, I am double counting, double dipping. So I'm only going to do my 10 children and my parents, they're 30. Okay. Number of new recipients. It's quarter one. It's my first time that I'm reporting my numbers, because last year it ended. We stopped last year. So now this is a new year. Everybody's going to be new to begin with. So I'm going to say I have 10 children and 20 parents, total 30. Okay. This is going to match up here only for quarter one. Let's pretend that we're doing quarter two. Okay, this was quarter one. Quarter two, I'm going to say I have 15 children and 22 parents, which means I had 5 new children and 2 new parents for the upcoming, for quarter two. Does this make sense? Okay. We do need to know the number of single moms, single fathers, teen parents, caregivers. Why do we need to know that? We need to know that because we have rural areas that have higher number of teen parents. We have areas in our state that have kinship parents or grandparents caring for their kids. We need to know that if you are facing this population, you're serving this population, and you come back and say, wait, you know, my curriculum does not cover grandparents, or my curriculum, it's not for teen parents, and you ask for additional funding, we need to make sure that you are actually servicing these populations, okay? Any other population, there's a ton of other populations that we do not, I did not ask because we do not capture, and I need to know that you guys service them. Any same marriage family, same couples, you know, same sex couples, any imprisoned families, any single fathers, any other ones that are not here that you do service, okay? We know that we have areas in our state where the prisons are located, and a lot of families move close to the prisons to be close to their loved ones. So we do have families with incarcerated parents. We need to know that. And if your agency's niche is that, or your agency is seeing more of that, then we need to adjust our funding when it comes to those areas to be able to provide adequate and appropriate services for those new populations. Okay, same here. We're going to keep going with the race and ethnicity. The number that you report here for quarter one only should total the number that you provide for new clients, new recipients, right here. Okay, so this total should always tie with race in any quarter, all 4 quarters. So your race, your gender, and your age should always match the total for your new recipients. Okay, let's say, for example, quarter 3, okay? Quarter 3, you serviced the same number as last quarter, so we have no changes. We had no changes. No new clients came to your agency. You're gonna do 0. You're gonna do 0 because you just kept the same. You kept the same clients. Nobody new came to you. 0. Then all my demographics should equal 0. 0. 0. Do not tie your totals to the number of recipients serviced. Do not. Why? Because here you're counting new and ongoing. And if we continue to report the same demographics on people that are coming back to your agency, we are double dipping and we are double counting. So please always remember, it has to tie to your new recipients. Okay? Any questions? Do we have any questions regarding the demographics and section 1 of the report? Okay. Then we're going to go back to case management. Okay. Does your agency provide case management? Yes, no, or not applicable? Yes, if you do, and if you have data. No, if you do, but you have no, so you would say, no, I did not provide it. I did not provide, and you can say, I am still hiring staff. Okay, this is going to tell me you are required to provide it. You promised, we funded this money to you because you're going to provide the service, but right now you haven't done anything because you're facing some difficulties. Okay, this is not calling attention to the fact that you guys are not doing your job. Really, that's not what it means. This really means is this is real life. You guys are real nonprofits. You guys are small nonprofits, some of you, and we're facing issues. Okay, so this is only going to tell us you're having difficulties for whatever reason, and we might have to reach out and, if you need technical assistance, you write here, technical assistance necessary. Okay, and not only that, you email me. Same thing with the home visits. Okay, if you have a curriculum, number of times home visits were provided, any home visit comments. Homelessness, same thing. Okay, any classes offered for parenting? Peer-to-peer support, yes, no, how many? Referrals, yes, no. Total number of recipients who you referred. This is very important. A lot of times, a lot of agencies do miss this. And I know it's a lot to ask for, but if you know that your clients, everybody that comes to your parenting classes, because I know some of you agencies do this. Everybody that comes to your parenting classes, you're also referring them to your shelter, to your food programs. You're doing that. So if you have 15 families in your parenting, you're going to do 15 referrals, and you're going to say, for food. You're just going to give me a list. 3 for housing. 1, I refer to doctors. Whatever it is. Same thing with respite. Just tell me how many and the hours. I want to know how many respite hours, units. We're doing units as respite hours, so that we can at least account for your time. Okay, self-protection. Self-protection is the only service that is provided by CTF. CBCAP does not approve this service. Okay, so those agencies who provide self-protection education should be under CTF only. CBCAP should not be. So what am I going to do if I don't offer it? I'm going to say not applicable, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and go on. Okay, do you collaborate with the courts? You collaborate with mental health? You collaborate with juvenile? Okay, you're going to say yes or no, and then you're going to submit. I didn't answer all the questions, so I won't be able to submit. Okay, see, it's telling me you didn't answer, you didn't answer, you didn't answer. So I have to go back and fill all of that in. This is the report. Any questions? Okay, no questions? Okay, this is it. This is for today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience. If you have any questions at any time, please send me an email, call me, reach out to me or any of us. We are more than happy to help you guys. Okay.
Yada, it's Brenda. Hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you, Brenda?
I'm good. Thank you so much for all this. So because I wasn't able to see the PowerPoint, I'd like to watch this again with my staff. Is there a link that we can watch it again, the recorded copy?
There will be a link. I'm going to edit it as soon as I'm done with you. I'm going to request IT to upload it. They should do it pretty quick, but not always. But I will send you an email when it's available.
Okay, I would appreciate that. Also, Yada, I wasn't on the email list. Will you add me?
Yes, of course. Brenda from
Brenda period Costello at Washoe Schools. Yeah.
Yes, school district.
So
okay,
I had
perfect.
another sub-grantee send me the link. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yara,
Yes.
One more quick question. If our agency provides a service that's listed in our report here, but it's not funded through our CTF funding, we would, on our report, we would put NA. Is that correct?
NA. Okay. You are only to report funding that is paid through CBCAP or CTF, because if you provide information or number or data for a program that is funded by something else, we are mixing up our data. Our data is not clean. We only want to know how much CBCAP and CTF covers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Yara, it's Ann at Boys and Girls Club. Can I keep you? This isn't going to refer to the whole group because I actually had questions on Title 4B2. Do you have a couple minutes that we could stay on in chat?
I do. We can stay. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay, I see somebody's typing. Let me see. Anybody else has any questions? Would you be sending out the PowerPoint as well? The PowerPoint was sent out on the invite. If you did not receive it, I will. It will also be uploaded on the website. But I believe you should all have gotten it in your invitation. Anybody else? And if you didn't get it, I will send it to you. I will make sure that I send it to you personally, okay? In the chat.
All right, it looks like other people are saying on, but I just wanted to clarify with you. After the training yesterday, I realized, so I have a few referrals from Human Services Agency for the families who are participating in the parenting class that's funded through the Title 4B2. And I reached out, I didn't know at the time to gather referral numbers or unity numbers. And so I've reached out to their caseworkers who I can contact. Some of them, the referral email addresses are getting kicked back, like they're no longer with the county.
Yes, yes.
So how do I track down, I have two questions. So how do I track down referral numbers for those families? And then second, I was told by another subgrantee that a lot of times the county isn't willing to share unity numbers. So what do I do in that case? Do I just need to like randomly generate referral numbers? I don't.
Okay, the counties don't necessarily don't like to share much, you know, because they're the counties and they got a lot going on. But however, they do have to give you a referral if they're going to send it to you. Whatever referral they give you, if it's an internal agency referral and it's not a unity number, give me what they give you.
Okay? I mean, yesterday I just started like printing out all the emails from caseworkers referring clients because all of a sudden I feel like I don't have the documentation to back it up. And so I'm just like, I'm a little nervous about it.
Okay, don't be nervous. Okay. Don't be nervous. Last year was our first year, okay, implementing this. We did come and we faced challenges like yours. Yeah. So we're going to send an email to all the counties. We're going to send an email indicating that these are the agencies that are funded this funding. This is what they offer. These are the agencies, you know, we're going to break it down. And we are going to say, if you refer, it has to come with a referral number.
Okay.
Okay. If you get a referral number, when you get a referral with no number, what do you get? You get a name?
Yeah, I mean, like these emails just say like, I would like to sign up my client so-and-so for this program. I mean, that's what most of these are. Like the other caseworker who I get the majority of my referrals from, she just said, this is the list of the ladies on my caseload I would like to register for the class.
Okay, that's great. We started a good process. So they are reaching out to you and that's amazing. It's getting them to comply. If they continue to not do that, you're going to say, you know, in your report, refer by so-and-so, and then you can always scan that email, cross out, just leave the last name, cross out the name, and send me that as evidence. And that way I can reach back to them and say, hey, you know, one of my subgrantees received this, and I need a new unity number.
Okay. I think I'm nervous because we teach a 10-week program and next week is the last week. And so now and because of the population that I'm working with currently, which is a little different than who I normally work with, I'm just afraid they're all going to be in the wind and I'm not going to be able to get this information. So
don't worry, because as long as you know that they are just give me a list, send me a list of last names, and I can send it back and say, because you are in Reno, so I send it to Washua and I say, hey, they participated. I need unity numbers on these people.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so we will work around any barriers.
Hi, so this is Brenda. So The difference is sometimes clients will call Child Protective Services and ask for parenting classes. And so those might not have a unity number. They're not involved with child welfare. So I think the difference is going to be those who have an open case versus those who are involved with child welfare. And so sometimes we have to dig a little bit deeper to figure out which is which.
Yes, yes. And I think that as we or and as you continue to understand this, you can always respond with saying, does this list have an open case?
Well,
or are you the case manager?
I know that a lot of these people do, just because I've gotten to know them for the last 9 weeks, they do have an open case. I mean, I know at least 4 of them don't even have their children in their custody right now.
Okay. So they're being serviced by the right program. We just need to get the data so that we can make sure. Now, people have asked, why do you want data now? Why do you want to know the unity numbers? And I'm going to tell you why. We need unity numbers because we have great agencies. All of you guys are great, amazing agencies providing amazing services. But then we keep seeing families in the system for 1 month, another month, 7 months, 10 months. They lose one child, they lose another child. What are we doing as you guys? But as the state, what are we doing to really address that population that is not getting out of the hole? Do we need to invest more money in something else? What do we need to do? So it's not because we want to make sure that you as an agency, you're doing right. It has nothing to do with your integrity. Please don't, it has nothing to do with the agency's integrity. It has everything to do with DCFS commitment to our Nevadans.
I'm just like a really strict rule follower, and everything is black and white for me. So I want to make sure that, because if it comes down the road to an audit, I want to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do on my end of things. And so I'm a little scared.
If it ever comes down to where I think that your data or anybody's data, it needs to be really looked at, I'm going to call you and I'm going to sit with you and we're going to go over it and I'm going to understand it. It's never going to be like, we're not going to fund you knowing you are, not that you are, we're not going to fund any agency knowing that, they're probably lying to us. We are all small nonprofits. We are all here to do our best. We make mistakes through a process, but this funding is being invested and spent on adequate population. So it's really not the concern. If you're getting emails but they're not complete, I can help you, or we can try to get those numbers. If we find out that yes.
Are there several sub-grantees that are receiving both Title 4B and CTF or CBCAP funding?
Yes. Not a lot, but there are some, yes.
Okay. Hi, Ann. It just doubles our work. We got it. We got you.
Yes. There are some, and that's why sometimes it's easy for me to say, well, then you move on to another funding. Yes, but if your agency only gets CBCAP but not Title 42, yes. But no, Ann, don't stress too much. Okay. I see you're frowning, like, don't stress too much.
Okay. The other question I had is because we do have the Family Support Services funding. So I know yesterday you said we could accept referrals from other agencies outside of the child welfare. So like if I'm working with a drug rehabilitation organization where the women have their children in their custody and they don't have an open case, but they're being referred, what type of referral number do I use for that? Or do I just note that in my report that they were referred by that specific agency?
If your agency, if Boys and Girls Club has an internal referral number that you guys track, give me that. If not, say no number, but it was referred by so-and-so.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm going to start a system of referral numbers now.
Don't stress too much, Ann. Please don't. Okay. Don't stress.
Okay.
I know that I'm coming down with a lot of requirements, and it's because we have been asked. The feds have asked us for a lot of things that we have not complied with. But things like this, we can navigate.
Okay.
If I have an explanation and you're telling me this is what's going on, I can explain it to the feds. But if I don't get anything, then I can't really pretend. I asked you and you didn't do nothing. Kind of thing. But no, please don't stress.
I just want to make sure we're doing it correctly because this is the first time that we've had this money, and we're really excited to be able to work with this population because we've had to turn them away in the past. And so I just want to make sure
you're successful. We're going to make sure you do good. Anybody else? Okay. Okay, everybody. Thank you for joining and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.